I never imagined my life would unravel in a single night. Yet that is exactly what happened. For years, I had believed in my family, the structure, the love, the trust. My parents, Helen and Robert, had been married for decades. My wife, Emily, and I had built our own life, trusting the foundation of the family I had grown up in. But one night, that trust was shattered, and everything I thought I knew crumbled in the most horrifying way. It started innocently enough, with whispers and shadows. I noticed subtle things, my dad acting strangely, taking calls in private, coming home later than usual, and my wife growing increasingly secretive with her phone. At first, I brushed it off, convincing myself that stress or fatigue explained the odd behaviors. But instincts, once awakened, are not easily ignored. One evening, I stayed home from work under the pretense of a minor illness. I wanted to catch up on chores, but mostly I wanted to observe. As the hours passed, I noticed unusual text messages appearing on Emily's phone and my dad's. Names I did not recognize, cryptic messages, invitations, plans, everything pointed to a betrayal I could barely fathom. My stomach churned, a mixture of anger and disbelief settling in like a stone. I confronted Emily first. I demanded to see her phone, to explain the sudden secrecy. At first, she denied everything, her eyes avoiding mine, voice trembling. But the evidence was too obvious. Messages, pictures, and calls between her and my father revealed a secret that should never have existed. They had been seeing each other behind my back, weaving a web of lies for months, perhaps longer. Shock, betrayal, and rage coursed through me all at once. I struggled to comprehend the depth of the betrayal. My wife, the person I had trusted with my heart, had chosen to betray me with my own father. The man who had raised me, taught me values, and served as my guide through life, had betrayed that trust in the worst possible way. I confronted my father next. His calm demeanor turned to panic as I laid out the evidence. "How could you?" I demanded, voice breaking. "How could you betray your own family, your own son, with his wife?" He tried to justify it, to claim loneliness, dissatisfaction, or misplaced affection, but I couldn't hear him. There was no excuse. The betrayal was complete, deliberate, and devastating. With the evidence in hand, I made a decision that would forever change the family dynamic. I contacted the authorities, reporting my father for misconduct and establishing the proof of their illegal and unethical relationship. The investigation was swift and undeniable. My father was arrested and jailed, facing the consequences of actions that had destroyed the trust and integrity of our family. The fallout was immediate and severe. My mother, Helen, refused to see the evidence, refused to listen to explanations, and instead turned her fury on me. "How could you do this to your father?" she demanded, eyes blazing with a mixture of grief and anger. "How could you betray your own family?" I tried to explain, to show her the texts, the calls, the confessions, but she would not hear it. "I will not have my family torn apart by your actions," she said, her voice shaking. "You are dead to me. You are disowned." Her words struck like a knife, cutting through the remnants of my calm and composure. I felt a profound sense of isolation, a recognition that standing for truth and justice often comes at a personal cost. But beneath the hurt and anger, there was also a clarity, a realization that I had acted correctly, that justice and integrity had been preserved, even if at the cost of my mother's love. Over the following months, I rebuilt my life amidst the chaos. My father remained in jail, facing legal consequences that were unavoidable given the incontrovertible evidence. Emily was forced to confront her actions, to navigate the fallout of a betrayal so severe that it left our extended family fractured. My mother's silence and refusal to acknowledge reality weighed heavily, but I focused on what I could control: my own moral compass and the integrity of my choices. The revenge, I realized, was not in malice but in the natural consequences of their actions. My father and wife had chosen their betrayal. They faced legal and social repercussions. The family they had sought to exploit and manipulate was no longer theirs to control. I had ensured accountability, and that in itself was a form of justice. In the years that followed, life gradually stabilized. I learned to navigate holidays, family gatherings, and interactions with my mother in the context of her continued disownment. Her refusal to acknowledge reality remained a source of pain, but it could not overshadow the clarity and integrity I had achieved by acting decisively. Emily eventually moved away, unable to maintain relationships in the community that had witnessed her betrayal. My father remained incarcerated for his actions, a constant reminder that choices have consequences. I focused on personal growth, professional advancement, and rebuilding the sense of trust and stability that had been shattered. Through it all, I discovered an unexpected strength. The betrayal, arrest, and disownment forced me to reevaluate my priorities, to focus on truth, justice, and personal integrity. I realized that life does not always reward loyalty with gratitude, and that doing the right thing can come at immense personal cost. But it also reinforced that standing firm in the face of betrayal preserves one's moral authority and dignity. Reflecting on the events, I understood the harsh realities of human relationships. Betrayal is a force that can destroy trust, fracture families, and isolate the righteous. But it also illuminates character, revealing who acts with integrity and who succumbs to desire, greed, or selfishness. My mother's disownment, painful as it was, underscored the complexity of loyalty, love, and truth. Years later, I maintained boundaries with both my parents and Emily. Interaction was minimal, civil when necessary, but always grounded in truth. I had rebuilt my life with clarity, stability, and moral assurance. The heartbreak and isolation had taught me resilience, the importance of boundaries, and the necessity of standing firm when confronted with betrayal, even when it comes from those closest to you. Ultimately, the story was one of justice served and personal accountability. My father and wife faced the consequences of their actions. My mother's refusal to accept reality was hers to bear. I reclaimed my life, preserving integrity and ensuring that betrayal did not go unchallenged. Revenge, in this case, was not about cruelty. It was about accountability, justice, and the unassailable truth that actions have consequences. Looking back, the pain and isolation remain vivid, but they are tempered by the knowledge that I acted correctly. Betrayal, even from those we love most, can be confronted, exposed, and rectified. Life after betrayal is difficult, but it is possible to rebuild, reclaim, and thrive when guided by integrity and moral clarity. Standing firm against my father and wife, enduring my mother's disownment, and navigating the ensuing chaos was the hardest experience of my life. Yet it also revealed my resilience, my commitment to justice, and my capacity to endure and rebuild. In the end, accountability prevailed, betrayal was exposed, and life, though altered, continued with clarity and purpose.